Indie Mogul.
The Twilight sweet spot. Prior to Stephenie Meyer's vampire-werewolf love triangle, Hollywood didn't even know it existed, but now they're obsessed with it. That's because, believe it or not, it's a sexy family movie thanks to the abstinence angle and a full-on franchise that is cheap to make. No big stars, no big special effects, and no big sets to build. But Hollywood has not only been unable to repeat the success of Twilight, but their efforts to improve upon it by making a more male-friendly Twilight isn't working either. Lionsgate hopes that's all going to change with their adaptation of The Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins' trilogy that has become a white-hot literary property thanks to strong sales and word of mouth. For those of you not familiar with the series, it takes place in an apocalyptic future where teens are picked by the shadowy government and forced to fight to the death in televised games. The books have been praised by everyone from the New York Times to Stephen King, with the general agreement being that Collins has created an addictive, violent action-adventure romance with broad appeal. Yeah, that'll get Hollywood's attention. Furthermore, these aren't high-tech games in an arena, but more like a camping trip from hell as these teens hunt each other down in a futuristic version of Appalachia. Translation? Cheap filmmaking. The budget for the first Hunger Games movie is set at $60 million, around what I Am No. 4 cost to make. But how can Lionsgate be so sure that The Hunger Games will succeed where I Am No. 4 did not? Already there are red flags. First, while Collins is adapting her own novels for the screen, Gary Ross has been chosen to direct. Ross is a famous screenwriter who's only directed 2 movies, Pleasantville and Seabiscuit. It's never a good sign when Hollywood decides to let a favorite son cut his teeth on a big project instead of getting someone with actual genre experience. Then there's the casting. While every young actress in Hollywood wants to play heroine Katniss Everdeen, it was recently announced that Jennifer Lawrence is the frontrunner. This makes sense, as Lawrence was nominated for an Oscar for her work in Winter's Bone, which is very similar in tone to The Hunger Games. However, in the novel, Katniss is described as having straight black hair, olive skin, and gray eyes. Is a blue-eyed blonde really going to satisfy fans? But Lawrence isn't signed yet, and fellow Oscar nominee Haley Steinfeld, as well as Abigail Breslin, are also in the running. Who would you like to see play Katniss, Hunger Games fans? And if you haven't heard of the Hunger Games before this, can you get behind a character who viciously kills other teens who are also just forced to compete? The Hunger Games is set to be released on March 23, 2012, hoping not only to repeat Twilight's success, but break the streak of post-apocalyptic box office flops. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. Check out more right now.